Good morning, Connecting Point Church family. Um, while you're watching this, it is Friday, but while I'm recording it, it is actually Wednesday. Just want to make sure I get ahead of things just because, holiday weeks can be crazy at times. Um, the craziness has already begun here. I'm hanging out in the truck right now with precious little guy. He's kind of in and out, so hopefully he doesn't cause too much of a ruckus during this. But I did our devotions already from the Following Jesus Bible reading plan out of the YouVersion app that we've been journeying through as a church. Hey, just as a reminder, it's the end of November, right? And so we have one more month before we have, again, as a group, completed the entirety of Scripture, which is pretty awesome and pretty incredible. I hope that it's been more than just reading of a chapter book, but that it has actually been truly formational throughout this time. I know it's been definitely for me. But anyways, I've already read through the devotional for what Friday is going to be, so that way I could pre-record this video. And in our reading for today, there's a lot of pretty strong things discussed. And even in the midst of those strong things that were discussed, I think the thing that stuck out to me, and again, maybe it's just because of where I've been at lately, but the thing that stuck out most to me was the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the furnace. And I know that's a super popular story. I know that we know that story from, that's like one of the first stories that we learn, right? But for me, even though it is a foundational story to being a part of a church, essentially, reading the Bible, their statement to Nebuchadnezzar just really gripped me. They said, right, you have Nebuchadnezzar saying you need to bow, and if you don't, you're going to be thrown into a furnace. And essentially Nebuchadnezzar throws out this challenge, and he's like, who do you guys think you are? There is no God that could ever defend you guys right now. It's over. I am essentially God. And their response to that is, I'm going to read it because I think it's perfect. I said, King Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up. And I just think about this and think about the life and death situation that they are in, and think about how terrified I would be. And yet, I mean, it says nothing about nothing about fear, nothing about that at all. And so maybe that's not necessarily what draws me the most to this, but just really what draws me in is their resolve and their commitment to God, no matter what, right? I mean, they have this insane faith in God that says that our God is able to deliver us from the furnace, from the fiery furnace. He can do it, and he will do it, right? They didn't just stop at he can, it didn't just stop at he is able, but they said he will. Not only is he able, but he is going to. And so they have this unparalleled faith, but then it just goes even further, and they say, but even if he doesn't, we are so committed and so sold out to who God is that even if he doesn't save us from this furnace, that makes us no more likely to serve your gods or bow to your image. because we are that committed to who God is. And we have that much faith in the God that we serve. And we recognize that, even if he doesn't deliver us in the way that seems like he should deliver us right now, it doesn't make him less God. And perhaps that just wasn't, maybe they're thinking perhaps that just wasn't part of his plan. And for me, I think about this story, and I think about the resolve that they have and the faith that they have. And that faith was based on their relationship with God. It was based on their prior standing relationship with God. It wasn't based on any active working that God was doing. It wasn't based on any promise that God had given them in the moment. It was simply based on their experience with God leading up to this point. And so Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when the fires of life came, pun intended, they had nothing to worry about because they were already secure and established in their relationship with God. And as I think about us today and what we can take from it, that's where we ought to be, right? We ought to find ourselves in a place where we don't wait until the trials of life arise for us to all of a sudden try to find this faith in God, but we, before the trials even hit, are dedicated and sold out to our relationship with God and to our pursuit of God. Sorry about this is the life that we ought to live. And as I think more about it, I think of how many people, probably me included, it's like our faith is all too often based on, it is a response. Our faith is a response to what is being done or what has been done. And yet, that's not the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Their faith was, like I said, maybe based on previous encounters that they've had with God, but there was nothing actively happening that made them think, okay, God has whispered in our ear that this is what's going to happen, so we can trust in that. Their resolve was not based on a guaranteed response, but it was based on a relationship that had been built. And so I think that each of us today can hear this and learn from this. I think that we can be reminded of the importance of relationship. We know it. We know that our relationship with God is of paramount importance. But I think that this story this morning just serves as a reminder for us of just how important it is. Because there may come a day where we are faced with a life and death situation, and it is in those moments that our pre-established relationship with God is going to be able to shine through and serve as an incredible witness and testimony to those who are around us. Maybe it won't be life and death, but maybe it'll be some other kind of precarious situation, and that will still be able to shine through. And so I implore each of you, and even myself, we need to be just devoted and dedicated to our relationship with God, even now, before the furnaces of life come after us. So that way, when the furnace is before us, we can be set in our resolve, just as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Well, I hope you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving day and enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. I look forward to seeing you guys for our first Sunday of Advent in a couple of days. And with that, I'm going to sign off, but I'm going to let you guys say bye to Finnick one more time. Hey, buddy. Can you say bye? Say bye. Oh, little yawn. That's it. All right. We'll see you guys in a few days. Peace out.